Well, when I think of New Orleans, I think of crawfish. Of course, cafe au lait, beignets, and then the very famed street. Yeah, I'm talking about Bourbon Street. And Mardi Gras, all the celebrations come along with it, from the beads, people lined up in the streets, and of course, the food, which gets us today where we're making jambalaya.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Ritter. Happy Fat Tuesday. Brewski, say hi. Penny, you want to say hi? Just want to pop in here. I'm going to make some jambalaya. It's what I do every single year for Fat Tuesday. This is actually a recipe that I got from my family in New Orleans. This is authentic as it gets. A couple of things real quick that you're going to need here. You need about a pound of shrimp with the shells on. That's key to it. Onions, peppers, celery, the holy trinity as they call it, long grain rice, some andouille sausage, bacon, because every good Cajun dish starts with some good bacon fat, and a little bit of fire roasted diced tomatoes. So we'll get to cooking. And besides the ingredients, you're also going to need a vessel to cook it in. You could do the crock, either stainless steel or ceramic, or as I do, we're doing a big batch. We're going big pot.
So why don't we start with peeling the onions, then of course we're going to chop them, because of course you have to have onions for the holy trinity. We're getting fancy too and actually using a shallot in our recipe. Of course we get to the bell pepper, the other famed part of the holy trinity in New Orleans. Although be careful not to cut yourself. And the celery needs to be washed. One important thing with the celery, though, is you're going to want to save the celery greens. Very important thing. It's going to be used later. Cut a strip down the middle before dicing. Now you want to try and keep everything around the same size.
Step one, we got to peel our shrimp. Tail, boom, keep that. I'm gonna keep this as well, because these tails, shells, become our shrimp stock. Sure, you can buy it in a can, but why would you do that when you can make it? All right, so we've got all of our shrimp shells in some water. Remember when I pointed out the greens on the celery? We're gonna take that, throw that down in the water. There's some thyme as well. We're gonna throw this on the stove, get it boiling. All right, so we're gonna bring this to a boil. Once it's done, we'll reserve it and start with the next step.
And these are a few spices you're going to want to have on hand to help with making jambalaya. First step, we're going to render out the bacon because, well, we want the bacon fat. And once that's done, we'll reserve that to the side. Oh, don't worry. We're going to use it for something later. I wouldn't let bacon go to waste. We'll leave the grease in the pan. Then we're going to grab our andouille sausage, and we're going to start rendering out the andouille sausage. Same thing, once that's rendered out, we're going to reserve that for later. And now we'll add in the vegetables that we already chopped. That's our holy trinity. Celery, bell pepper, onion. We'll start to sweat that down. Make sure to stir it up really good. Get it well coated with oil. And of course, this is going to be time where you may want to start thinking about seasoning with things. And make sure you really rub the fond off the bottom of the pan, because as Chef Ann Burrell says, brown food tastes good. So there's a little salt on it. Helps to sweat it out. Now we're going to add the granulated garlic. Of course, you could also use regular full garlic. Chop it in. Paprika is going to go in. Yeah, make sure to add some Chesapeake Bay or Old Bay seasoning. I really love the Penzeys version. And then the part where we're going to start stripping the fresh thyme leaves. So you grab it by the top, pull it downward. And just keep going until you smell quite a bit of thyme in there. We'll get the vegetables all sweated down really well. And here's a little pro tip. Yes, tomato paste. Put a little bit of that in the middle, cook that down, adds richness, and also helps develop lots of dark color. And we'll add our fire roasted tomatoes. Now the rice, we gotta brown that. Now we're gonna toast the rice. You gotta keep moving around so it doesn't burn. As soon as it starts to smell nutty, then you're good. We're gonna add in our pre-measured shrimp stock, and we'll add the rest of our vegetables back in that we've already sweated off. And of course then we've, well, gotta get to the meat. We can't forget the meat. We'll be jambalaya without meat. So in goes the andouille and the bacon. Yeah, it's going right back in. And we're going to bring it to a boil, cover it, let it sit for 15 minutes. And when it's done, pull it off. Of course, still need to get the shrimp in, so we're going to throw that in, stir it, mix it in. And once we get that good and stirred up, we're going to put the cover back on, let it sit for 5 minutes. And voila. Shrimp andouille.